From beautiful Bath, England, Axiom Mystery School presents The Great Rethinking, changing our personal and planetary destiny.
And is an internationally respected authority on world mysticism. His previous books include the Jesus Mysteries, which was a top 10 bestseller in the UK and sold very well in the USA as well, an Amazon.com surprise bestseller, and a book of the year in the Daily Telegraph. His book, Jesus and the Lost Goddess, was cited by Dan Brown as an inspiration for the Da Vinci Code. He's often been featured in the media around the world. Recently, he was interviewed for the History Channel documentary Beyond the Da Vinci Code, and it's been the focus of modern mystics on the BBC World Service and Beyond Belief on BBC Radio 4. It's a great honor to introduce you this morning to Timothy Freke.
Hi. So I'm Tim Freke, allegedly, and my name really is pronounced Freak. And I guess if you can survive school with a name like Freak, you're set up for getting up on stages in front of a lot of people and saying some pretty outrageous things. There's a line in the Gospel of Thomas, which is one of my favorite Gnostic Gospels. It says, if you want to experience the kingdom of heaven, the gnosis, the awakening, then you need to take off all of your clothes and stand on them like a little child. So if you'd all like to stand up. That comes later, as if I get really carried away, which I do. But I kind of do want to do that, actually. I do want to take off all our clothes, maybe not literally. I get described, because of the books I'm well known for, like the Jesus Mysteries and Jesus and the Goddess, and most recently in the US, The Laughing Jesus. Oh, no, Jesus isn't it? They're kind of academic-looking books. They're not. They're a good rollicking read, I hope. But there's lots of notes at the backs, and you know. So I'm a kind of scholar, but I'm not really. It's not who I am. I see myself much more like a stand-up philosopher. I see myself in the kind of tradition of the ancients, where philosophers were traveling performers, really, who'd move from city to city, saying challenging things and encouraging people to look at things in new ways. And part of my mission, I guess, is to make philosophy sexy, fashionable, because it's got a very bad press, generally, these days. It's seen as very dry and abstract and ivory tower-ish. And it really, really isn't. It really isn't. You know, to me, there's nothing more exciting than entering into a new set of ideas and seeing your experience of reality change. I mean, that's true magic. And as Elspeth was saying, you know, the word philosopher is from the Greek philosophia. It means lover of wisdom. Actually, Sophia in the Christian tradition is the name of the goddess. So it's a lover of the goddess. And as the goddess represents symbolically the whole of life, it's a lover of life. When people say to me that philosophy is abstract, it really makes me laugh. It makes me laugh because everything that each of us, everything you have done today, every day, is predicated on who you think you are and what you think life is. So if you've got that wrong, see, that feels like we're thinking about it. That doesn't seem abstract. That seems the most concrete thing you could possibly look at and really invest some time into. And that's my kind of little obsession, which I'm here to share with you. I like doing that. We need to understand our philosophies to understand where we're at. My dear friend who I write with, sometimes Peter Gandhi, who is has a very sharp, dry, and somewhat dark wit, was talking to me the other day on the phone, and he said, if we want to understand terrorism, we need to see what it is that makes a suicide bomber tick. Takes a while, doesn't it? And we know what it makes them tick. What makes a suicide bomber tick is their philosophy. As a previous speaker was saying, they really do believe, it's hard to get it, but they do, that, when they do those things, whilst the infidels will be burning, they will be transported to paradise, where they will have 72 houris, virgins, for eternity. I said that recently in Kansas when I was touring the US, and a lady came up to me afterwards and said, "You tell those Muslim boys they don't want 72 virgins, they want 72 well-experienced women." So our philosophies count. They govern what we do. And the philosophy which really interests me, which has caught my imagination, is a philosophy which is so old and so universal, found in every time, in every culture, that it's sometimes called the perennial philosophy. It's a phrase I'm sure you've heard. In fact, it's so old that the Greeks, the ancient Greeks, called it the perennial philosophy. That's how old it is. And what intrigues me about this is not that everyone in, the Taoists, the Zen masters, I've ended up writing books on all these guys. And what intrigues me is that they're all saying different things. They're using different languages, literally. Chinese, Sanskrit, also. But once you see through the veneer of the surface veneer, they're all pointing to an experience. And it sounds very much to me like the same experience, which makes me feel we're talking about something universally human here. Something which allows us to go, all those traditions, people have said to me sometimes, don't you feel a bit odd writing books on all these different traditions? Which is your tradition? And I feel like I'm a human being. They're all my tradition. They were human beings facing the mystery of existence. I'm a human being facing the mystery of existence. It's my tradition. All of it. It's yours. It's our shared wisdom. And it's all pointing